In depth now on this Tuesday on a program to get more adults into higher education. It's called LEAP. The goal? To help adults in the Bay Area make the grade and earn a degree. LEAP focuses on 4 strategies. The first, Fuse. Students will start at HCC to get their associate's degree. Then they'll work towards a bachelor degree at USF. LEAP and their partners are also working on a plan with FAFSA to help more students receive financial aid. LEAP will also find community resources to help its students, and partners will work to share LEAP's mission to anyone who may need it. We sat down with 2 people involved with the LEAP program to learn more. Joining me now to talk more about LEAP and what it is and how it works, we have right next to me Marlene Spalton, the President and CEO of Community Foundation of Tampa Bay. Marlene, we've had you on there before with us.
Thank you
for stopping by. And Dr. Paul Nagy, the Special Assistant to the President for Strategic Planning from HCC. Glad to have you with us. All right, who wants to start out by telling me what is LEAP?
LEAP is the name of a collaborative, a very important collaborative that involves both the public, the private, but also the philanthropic sectors. One common goal, and that goal is people in Hillsborough County in working age with either college degrees or high quality credentials. By the year 2025, we'd like that percent to be 60% of those working age adults with either degrees or high quality
What is
credentials.
it now?
It's around 41%, so
wow.
We have a ways to go.
Dr. Nagy, I mean, nothing like biting off a big apple to chew on this, huh?
That's right. We've got quite a bridge to jump, and that's very emblematic of our label, a leap. That's very symbolic of that. So we've got a big leap to make in a very short time.
So what is the biggest problem and prevents people from going to college? Is it the money? Is it the expectation level? What is it?
It's a number of things. Certainly money is one of those, and LEAP and its strategic focus is addressing that affordability, cost, the availability of financial aid. That's a big thing. Life challenges, particularly at Hillsborough Community College, where we've got folk that are working full-time. They have families to feed. They've got children to raise. They've got elder parents to take care of, and they just have life challenges that sometimes are obstacles for them to get higher education. Some of them are first generation in college.
Right. Yeah.
They come from impoverished backgrounds, so just getting to the classroom is a challenge that they've got to overcome.
On the money side of things, I mean, the reality is, if you're a parent and you're watching right now, if you ever filled out a FAFSA, you want to tear what hair you have left out and throw it on the table and go, you say, according to FAFSA, that I can afford $30,000 or $40,000 a year?
That's right.
You know, I mean, it is daunting to think how much an education costs. So who are the people that are actually going to come to you with money and say, here, use this money to help educate people?
Certainly coordinating scholarship opportunities but first you have to get out to even qualify for federal
Well, that's
aid.
true, yeah.
And that's not an easy proposition for first-gen students and their families or some of our key constituents that we're aimed at. So having some help in doing that, so we have a whole working group working on that, just the ability to fill out the FAFSA. And there have been some laws that have been changed recently that's going to help with that.
Oh, that's good.
You can now file FAFSAs in October, starting in this year, and that will give you the information, the financial information you need before you have to select colleges and go through that whole process, instead of January, which it's normally been.
Yeah.
You can also use what's called prior year returns, tax returns, to file your FAFSA, which means you don't have to try to get your taxes done in January along with completing the FAFSA.
Now, Dr. Nagy, in terms of, okay, you got to fill out your FAFSA, how does the mechanics of that work? Do they go to your counseling center to get that done? Do kids, because what I often find is that kids, if parents aren't super involved in this, they just don't know even where to start.
That they can do through various routes. They can come to our college, and we have used to have things called College Day Sunday, which is a big effort to get people to complete the FAFSA form. But you can do it, I recall, in the high schools and other venues as well.
So that's what LEAP will do, is really bring all these efforts together to make sure that we've covered all the gaps. One thing we're talking about doing is using volunteers who help people prepare their tax returns, training them to also help them at the same time complete their FAFSA alpha forms.
Okay.
So while the papers are all spread out all over the desk, to give those families the opportunity to do both of those things with trained volunteers. So that's one of our strategies.
Let's talk about expectations, because I was part of a study years ago in St. Louis done by George Washington University that tried to measure expectations versus success. And that when you're in a family where somebody is already grown, there is a higher expectation for how the younger kids are going to perform. But if you've never had that expectation placed upon you, or you've never had, in quotes, great success at what you're doing, how do you instill and inspire young people to take a chance? Because that's what college is. You're signing up for a debt that's going to last probably 10 years by the time you pay it off. How do you convince them that it's worth the risk?
We look at economic patterns of what kinds of jobs are going to be available by the time these students are graduating, and making sure that they're well aware of that, and knowing what the financial ramifications are of the choices they're making. But clearly advising, being able to, as a student, have people that are going to help you through transition points, which is where we usually lose students. So because our partners span the school district, K through 12, into HCC, then USF, we're going to have strategies to help students make those transitions without falling out. You know, when I was in college, everybody wanted to be have a degree in psychology, which is amazing. Like, where do you go? How do you get? What do you do with a psychology degree? Nowadays, because there's a huge shortage of psychiatrists and psychologists, the answer is you get a good job because there are so many openings. But in terms of matching, I mean, what do you, because kids, when they come in, they have so many options available to them that sometimes it's kind of like, I don't even know how to decide where I want to go.
Well, more and more research is showing that that's part of our challenge. We need to limit those options. We've almost given them too much. And certainly some research out of Columbia University and their community college areas saying that we do need to limit those options for these students and make them more directed when they come into college, and have clear structured pathways from entry, matriculation to completion. So I think that's a big part of that. Is our goal needs to be completion. Retention's good, better. We need to free up that pipeline to allow other people to come in, and that's the only way that we're going to achieve the goals of LEAP and achieve those educational attainment goals.
So Paul, talk about FUSE.
What's FUSE?
FUSE is certainly one of the strategic pillars that has been embraced by LEAP, and it's something that has been a wonderful collaboration between Hillsborough Community College and the University of South Florida, and its goal is to accelerate and grow completions of the associate degree and baccalaureate degree here in the Tampa Bay region. The FUSE brand is representing the fusing of our institutional resources. We're giving up our institutional egos for a greater ecosystem of higher education, because we are bonded by the goal of improving student success. That's what we share in common. The value proposition of FUSE is that if you are a student and you come to HCC and graduate within 3 years and meet other criteria, you are guaranteed admission into one of 11 baccalaureate degrees at the University of South Florida. And these baccalaureate degrees that we have selected are well aligned with the labor market data that Marlene refers to. So that's the value proposition. To do that, to accomplish that, and it gets to your point earlier, we have what we call structured pathways called grad paths. Those grad paths are very prescriptive, and they tell you not only what courses to take when you matriculate and enter HCC, but they tell you the sequence that you are to take those. And that grad path, if you follow it, it will take you through associate degree completion all the way to baccalaureate degree completion at USF. So you've got to follow that. You've got to graduate in 3 years. Everybody. But it's for a lot. It's for a lot of folks.
So if you're listening right now and you figure out, you know, is this something for me? Well, get a hold of HCC. They're going to get you plugged into what you need to do. It sounds like a great program, and I wish you great success, because you make a lot more money when you're a college graduate than you do the other way, and we all know that, right? Thank you for stopping by with your information. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.